another?
Yeah, just leave the bottle, please.
Rough night tonight.
Come on! Jaden, do you know where you would be if I wasn't here to protect you? You would be dead like your mother. Your extended family business, it's complicated. We are close. Need to start paying.
Back out, old man.
I said back the... You are a dead man. The Russians, they took Jaden.
Why would they take Jaden?
It was a setup. I'm coming to save you.
A true vigilante.
You made it personal. What you saw today was just a taste. Where's the kid?
Who are you? What the
Remember now? I made a promise to your mother to protect you for the rest of my life.
Watch out!
Hi, James. How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Oh, well, I like the Commando poster.
I just talked to Kristana Loken. She mentioned the same thing. I was like,
Oh, did you really? Hey,
Yeah,
great.
I
Tell
literally
Kristana-
just And it's
tell
funny
Kristana to
because
say
I was texting the PR people just before my internet went down because they're doing construction next door and they're totally like messing everything up. So I was like, I have no internet, but they came back up. So here we are.
hi.
Oh, James, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. I mean, such a fan. You've been crushing it. I mean, I was looking through your IMDb, sir, like which I do with everybody because that's the place you go to, like to find, like everybody's work and everything. You've done a lot of horror, and now you're crushing it with the action cinema. So let's talk real first about going from like all the horror that you've been doing into now the action, because you're working with some heavy hitters in the action cinema, sir. No, I just got to throw it out there. I mean, I'll mention the names in a minute, but let's talk about getting into action. And is it a genre that you always loved? That sort of thing.
I mean, I love action movies. I love horror movies. I like blood in films, and I like when things explode. So I feel like, you're gonna like both genres. But yeah, no, I mean, it's for me, I grew up on horror films. I grew up on action films. I mean, I got horror tattoos all over me, but
Right.
I also grew up watching, badass action films. And I just have been fortunate enough to be able to play in both genres.
Now let's talk, because you obviously you got to work with Bruce Willis. As we all know, he's retired since due to his medical condition. How was it to work with such a legend? At the end of such a historic career.
It was an honor. I grew up watching his movies. I mean, who doesn't love John McClane?
Exactly. So, and then Mel Gibson, I mean, Steven Seagal, I mean, you're just crushing it. Like you must be like a kid in a candy store, be like, oh, now Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's like, oh, who do I have for the next one? Right.
I mean, I'm 100% a kid in a candy store. I'm blessed to be able to work with such amazing action heroes, and the people that I grew up watching movies of, going, man, one day I want to make a movie like their movies. And amazingly, I've been fortunate enough to be able to work with them, and it's been nothing but a blessing.
So let's talk about Darkness of Man, which comes out May 21st. Like this is like another different Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. He's been trying a lot of different things, which is pretty cool. Now, this is an original story that you came up with him, right? Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, so it was developed together, and then I wrote it with Alethea Cho,
Yes.
it was really cool to be able to make a movie where JC really plays his age, and he plays a flawed hero who's an alcoholic, who's barely hanging on to his purpose in life, and then he has to pull himself together while falling apart in order to take care of a child and rescue him. And the film really asks the question of like what it means to be a father. Is that a choice that we make, or is it something that's thrust upon us? Is it just being present, or is it actually choosing to be a father? And I think that's what's really exciting in the movie, as well as, I mean, you get to see him kicking ass. I mean, it's nonstop action, don't get me wrong, but it was really also fun to be able to play with the noir films that I grew up on. So like this movie is like a throwback to the Maltese Falcon, The Third Man, Angels with Dirty Faces, Casablanca, like many of the films that I grew up watching and loved, and taking that, combining with it with an action film, but still keeping those flawed heroes and that are barely gonna make it. And I think that's what's really exciting about this movie. And we have intense voiceover that goes throughout the film, that you really get into the darkness of man inside JC's head.
Now talk about working with JC, like such an iconic action star again. Like now being on set with him, how was he? To work with. Did he like give you some feedback, or like was he just like acceptable to what you were doing?
Like you were saying, I've been able to work with such wonderful and amazing, action stars over the years, and it's just been amazing hearing from each of them, like the little things that made them a star, and they bring to the table that you can see that make them a star. And I've been really blessed to work with people like JC and Bruce Willis and Mel Gibson and Steven Seagal,
Yeah.
and just seeing the little things that made them a star and what they bring to the table is really exciting. And like you said, a kid in a candy store, man.
So how was it doing the action? Like you're on set, you're directing Von Damme doing like what he does best. Now, obviously, he's not doing helicopter kicks in this one, but like this is like some brutal Van Damage. I mean, like watching these fight scenes. I mean, he's blocking guys' punches with his fists. He's breaking hands with his. It was pretty cool. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, man. We tried to make this as violent and brutal and realistic as possible. And I wanted it to be like a lion that was out of his cage fighting against a bunch of guys that had a ton more weaponry, and he's fighting for survival. It's almost like, think about, and that was really brought to the table by not only JC's performance, but the amazing stunt choreography that was done by Luc LaFontaine, who's done a lot of amazing stunt choreography over the years.
I know Luke. Yes, I've interviewed him too. Yeah,
Luke is the man.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I literally just got done talking with Kristanna Loken, who again I'm a big fan with. So working with her must have been great. And I mentioned to her, like, I go, I'm not gonna lie, Christina, I was like excited when I saw you were in a Van Damme movie, but then it was a non-action role. I was a little disappointed. But then I saw her performance. I'm like, oh, it's okay. So talk about, because we talked about what she brings to the table, and like she's the moral compass to Van Damme's Russell Hatch, which is such a
she's the moral compass. She's like the North Star, and also beyond that, Kristanna is a hell of an actress.
Yes.
And it was amazing to be able to work with her. I love Kristanna. Kristanna is fantastic. I'm really excited for people to see her in this movie. And who knows, if there's a sequel, maybe she'll get some action.
I've heard rumblings. Like she mentioned, and I talked to Kirk Sticky Fingers Jones just the other day too. Boy, was he was hyperkinetic to talk to. Let me tell you. So talk about working with him too. Like he's Blade. He is. I mean, we all know Wesley Snipes is Blade, but he's Blade too. And I wore my hat, my shirt, and everything. And I was I was kind of in awe.
Sticky's awesome. I mean, I loved the TV show Blade. As well as obviously Onyx is awesome.
Yes, he was.
Working with Sticky was incredible. And who knows, if there's a sequel, maybe there's some action with him too.
Yeah, he was just.
He has some action in this, though. He does have some action.
Oh yes, he does. He does. Yeah. Yeah. Like he was just a bundle of energy. Like talking to him, I was just trying to keep up. I was like, okay, what are we talking about now? It's like what's going on?
Yeah. I love Stick. He's awesome, man. That guy's cool.
Awesome. Like like I said, I love what you're doing with the action genre. I mean, I don't want to say indie action. I mean, well, it's kind of a badge of honor, I think, because we all know, you got the big summer movies like The Fall Guy and stuff like that. But I love what you and some of these other filmmakers are doing with the action cinema. So just talk about working in this realm of like, you could call it independent action cinema for what it is. But like, talk about it, because sometimes these are better than other like bigger budgeted movies.
I was really blessed that we got to try something different. Like this is
Yes.
not the popcorn action flick. I've made a couple of those popcorn action flicks, and there's nothing against those. I love them.
No, I don't want to. Yeah,
but
I don't want to say anything. Yeah, I
yeah,
love
but
the
this
Fall
is
Guy.
but this
Yeah.
is something really different, and we tried something unique, and I'm really excited for people to see this, and hopefully they enjoy this dark noir tale that we're telling here, because it's JC like you've never seen him before. I promise you that.
So just real quick, just tell people what do you want people to get out of the viewing experience for Darkness Amid?
I really want people to take a dark journey and look at this as a noir film, and really feel how impactful the violence is when the stakes are really raised, where we're making a movie where you are not sure the entire time if JC is going to get out of any of the fights.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that too. Yeah, I like watch it. I'm like, is he gonna die? Is he, of course, no spoilers. I'm not gonna, because the movie's not out yet when I'm gonna put this out. But yeah, that was a great. You really had me like, I really don't know what's gonna happen right now. So kudos to that too.
Oh, thank you so much. And I think, the other thing I want people to know and see when they see this movie is JC's back, baby.
He is, absolutely. And I'm sure I'm going to get the opportunity to talk to you in the future, because like I said, I mean, like every time I turn around, I get an email with the movie with your name on it, which is great. No, it is. I love it. I'm like, he's back, So, and I was actually going to talk to you for Fortress, but it didn't. Life got in the way and it didn't work out. So I'm finally glad I got to talk to you, and for a Van Damme movie, no less.
Hey, I'm excited. I love it, and I'm glad that we got to talk. And keep doing what you're doing. Your site is awesome, man.
Thank you so much. You keep doing what you're doing, and like I said, next one comes up. I hope we get to talk again. So good luck with the rest of the interviews for the movie. Good luck with the release of the movie. Like I said, May 21st it comes out, so it's got my thumbs up. Like I said, I was watching and I'm like, yeah, this is Van Damme. If you want to see some brutal Van Damage, this is the movie for you.
Oh, thank you so much. You're too kind.
All right. Well, you have a good rest of the day, and good luck with the movie, and good luck with everything in the future, and we'll talk again.
All right.